In the last lecture, we were discussing about the types of gametes. On this context, we will discuss types of gametes. First, on the basis of size, shapes, such gametes are called isogametes or also called homogametes. Like for example, cladophora, where the sperm and egg size and shapes are the same. Such type of gametes are called the homogametes. Heterogametes. Heterogametes are the gametes where the two different types of gametes are formed. Most probably they are different in shapes or either size also. One is a small and the other is a big. The male small and the female is big. That is called heterogametes. Example in fucus. Sexuality in organism. It means whether the organism is unisexual or bisexual. So like in plant monoecious, bisexual. Mostly you find the plants are bisexual. Means both male and female parts are present on the same plant, rather on the same flower. Such type of condition is called monoecious. Both stamen and carpels are present in the same plant or flower. That is called monoecious. Dioecious means unisexual, where the plants or the organisms having just only single reproductive structure, either having a male or female. Such type of organisms are called as the dioecious. From which human being is there, dioecious. Papaya, date palm, they are the example of unisexual or dioecious. In animal, heterosexual animals separate male and female form. That is human being called heterosexual. Bisexual. In case of like plant, it's called bisexual, but if case of human being or organism, it is called as the hermaphrodite or bisexual, when both male and female sex organ present the same animals, like earthworm and tapeworm. Now, next event which takes place after the pre-fertilization, that is a fertilization. Fertilization, as by that is it is the fusion of gametes. That is called as the fertilization, where the two gametes from the two different parents or from two different reproductive units fuses. Then they form a single cell that will call as the zygote. Means the two haploid gametes which are represented by N is a half set of chromosome fuses to form the diploid status, that is restoring to the normal chromosome number of the parents. That is called the fertilization. Now this is the two type of fertilization. First is called external fertilization and second is the internal fertilization. As by the name it is giving indication that if external fertilization, where fertilization takes place outside the human being or the parent body, while internal fertilization, where the fertilization takes place inside the body of the organism, that is called internal fertilization. Let's discuss these two. The external fertilization occurs outside the female body. Egg and sperm are produced in a very large since vulnerable to the external surrounding. In this, such type of gametes are susceptible to the external environmental predator also and the environmental condition. So in such condition, these gametes are prone to be destroyed. So chances of survivability very less. So in order to maintain the survivability of the organism produce large number of gametes. At least some of the organism some of the gametes may be successful in fertilizing. Zygote develop is vulnerable to adverse surroundings, so lesser chances of survival. Yes, when the zygotes form, they are susceptible prone to the external extreme harsh condition. Maybe the zygote may not be able to survive. In the case of external fertilization, the zygote is covered by a protective coat. When the zygotes form, they are covered by a protective layer. So in order to at least tide over harsh condition, but sometimes they are not able to survive, not able to tolerate this harsh condition. They are not able to survive, so the zygote get destroyed or die. So the chances of survivability in such cases is very less. Example found in alga frog. Frog we will discuss about sexual reproduction, or in lower class monster study that in the frog, male and female copulate, they discharge the gamete into the water in a large quantity, and that is fertilization is taking place outside the female body. Now next is the internal fertilization. Internal fertilization, as the name suggests, that is fertilization is taking place inside the parent body or the plant body, that is called as the internal fertilization, means which is occurring inside the female body. Here sperms are produced is numerous, but eggs are few or one. Means female is producing only one or two certain eggs, but sperm which is produced by the male gametes are produced in a large quantity. Zygote develop is protected internal environment in uterus, and so greater chance of survival is there. So in compared to asexual, in comparison to external fertilization, in internal fertilization, chances of survivability of zygote is more because it is present inside the female body, and so they are very well protected. Zygote, no, here zygote is not covered by any protective layer because it is present inside the body of organism, so it is already being protected. So examples are found in reptiles, birds, mammals, and high plants. This is the example where the fertilization is taking place inside the parent body or the female body. So such fertilization is called as the internal fertilization. Please do remember about the difference between external fertilization and internal fertilization. It is sometimes asked in the board examination. So you must read and write in your homework also that at least 4 differences between the external fertilization and the internal fertilization, with giving example from both plant as well as the animal world. Now next we will study about the post-fertilization events. Post-fertilization events which occur after the fertilization of the gamete, means when the zygote is formed, its future, means its further development takes place, and such events which occur, that is called as the post-fertilization events. So let's see what's post-fertilization. That is zygote development. Zygotes start to divide to form the embryo. So zygote develops by fusion of male and female gametes, undergoes cell division to develop into an embryo. So that is the events takes place. That is comes in the post-fertilization events where the zygote will form as a result of fusion of the male and female gamete, and it will start dividing to form an embryo. Now, in haploid organism like algae, zygotic meiosis takes place. Zygote divide mutically, form an embryo. Embryo is haploid. It will become an adult. It will produce the gamete by mitotically by fusion. So, and the zygote is formed. It's again diploid. In diplontic organism like us, zygote is diploid and by mitotically divide to form an embryo, which is also diploid. At the time of when it will make mature, and from during time of fertilization, this organism which is diploid will go on the meiotic division and produce a gamete. Now next is embryogenesis, formation of embryo proper, that is called the embryogenesis. This event also comes under the post fertilization event, that is called as the embryogenesis, formation of embryo. It occurs by two processes, by cell division and cell differentiation. We must be knowing what is cell division. Cell division, the process by which cell divide to form two daughter cell, maybe more, that is called as cell division. So the zygote which is formed will divide to form a resultant blastula. Now the cells will start dividing to form a bunch of mass of cells, and then these cells will get differentiated, rearranging themselves and getting separated from the rest of the cells to form certain structure. This is called cell differentiation, result and due to which different type of cells are produced, which will have different functions. The structure means setting itself in the zygote to form an embryo. So we have outlined like in human female in fallopian tube, you see zygote is formed with mitosis, is formed morula, then it formed blastula, and blastocyst, then fetus is formed. Fetus embryo within which habits what is fetus and embryo doesn't have a differentiate organ, but in fetus the organ formation has been start takes place. Sometimes it is asked in the board examination what is the difference between embryo and the fetus. So embryo where the organ has formation not takes place, but in fetus organ development has start takes place. That is called as the fetus. The embryo which is formed get implanted on the wall of uterus through attached to the wall of the uterus structure that is called placenta. And placenta structure through which it drives nourishment and also removal of the waste takes place. Now, on the basis of development, embryo outside or inside female body is two types: oviparous animal, viviparous. Means oviparous animals are the animals whether it is a fertilization takes place inside the female body, but after fertilization, the further development of embryo does not take place inside the uterus. Here, such organisms lay out the egg outside the body, means the development takes place outside. So, such organisms which lay egg are called oviparous. You must be knowing which are the organisms which lay egg, that is called the oviparous. Birds and reptiles, they are called as the oviparous. Viviparous are the organisms which give their birth to the young ones, that is called viviparous. Mostly all mammals are the viviparous. They give rise birth to the young ones, that is called viviparous organism. Look again a difference between oviparous. Oviparous animals. Oviparous animals are the animals embryo develop in shelled eggs outside the female body. Embryo develop in uterus inside the female body. Developing embryo needs incubation, heat by female. In case of oviparous, no incubation required in the viviparous. The fertilized egg is calcareous, means hard protecting shells is present outside the oviparous for protection of developing embryo. Fertilized egg is not calcareous. Offspring is born by hatching of calcareous. How they are born? After hatching. Young one is directly born from female body, that is mammalian. The young born one is formed inside the female body directly. When they are born, they are expelled out the body. That is called as the viviparous, and in the oviparous, the hatching is to take place. Then the uh, organism comes out from the egg. So this is the two difference between oviparous and the viviparous. Now the zygote development takes first in somewhere. Zygote development takes place in outside, then external development, fishes, frogs, and algae. While in like some the internal development takes place in birds, reptiles, mammals, and angiosperm, where the zygote forms inside the body, the zygote divides inside the body, and the further development of embryo takes place. So means mostly the eggs are laid and eggs where the development takes place outside the body, and if the egg is fused and fertilized inside the body uterus, then if further development takes place inside the body of an organism, that is called internal development. Types of cyclic event during the reproduction phase in female. Two types. There are two phases of reproductive event cycle in the One is called as the oyster cycle, and is called menstruation cycle. Mostly oyster cycle means in lower primates. Menstruation cycle takes place in higher primate, like human. So discussing in oyster cycle, no bleeding occur at the end of cycle. Takes place throughout lifetime. In organism, such organism, the oyster cycle takes place throughout the lifetime, and no bleeding takes place. No blood discharge come out from the reproductive organ at the end of the cycle. Found in seasonal breeders such as primates, cat, dogs, lions, means the particular seasonal in the particular season they are active, they are reproductive active, and they only produce the they go for reproduction and to give rise to birth to young ones. That is called the oyster cycle. While in case of menstrual cycle, bleeding occur at the end of cycle takes place from menarche to menopause. Found in permanent breeders such as primates, apes, monkey, and human. They are permanent breeders. They can breed anytime throughout the year. That is called as the permanent breeders. We will discuss detail in all these things. Now, reproductive event in higher plant, angiosperm. First male gamete, nucleus, and cell. Pollen grain from the pollen tube fuses with the egg cell to form a zygote, that is called syngamy. That is fertilization of the gamete, of fusion of gamete, that is called syngamy. Second male gamete through pollen tube fuses with two polar nuclei in ovule, that is form a pen, primary endosperm nucleus, that is form one syngamy form the zygote, and that is triploid fusion, that is forming the pen, that is primary endosperm nucleus, which will form the 12 separately, then the change of ovary into fruits, and here the zygote form the ovaries into seeds. In the seed, embryo grow and develop by feeding on nutritious endosperm. Finally, formation into young plants, which when seeds are released, bursting of major fruit. In the fruits, seeds arrange into placenta. The seeds which are found in the fruits are arranged in a certain pattern. So such is known as, or also you can say, that is called placentation, or where the ovule are arranged to the ovary in manner that is called placentation. It covers a protective covering, pericarp over adverse condition. Fruits of several types. For example, pods. That's the example: pea, drupes, mango, berry, orange. Multiple fruits: pineapple, false fruits, and apple. So these are the certain example types of fruits which I have discussed in your 11th classes. Now all of you do revise this all the lecture which I have discussed in this chapter, and write down the certain homeworks like the write down external fertilizer, internal fertilizer. Give what is the difference between oyster cycle and menstrual cycle. What is the feature of sexual reproduction? Write down in your copy and revise it. If you have any problem, just ask the questions.